What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about how Texas A&M could have been great, but ended up not being great, I guess, in a way. Uh, so me, originally from Box Springs, Texas, aka Dallas, Texas. I was always a fan of South Texas football. Houston Texans before they were the Oilers, of course. Obviously, I just like the baby blue. Never really liked the Cowboys like that. Wait a second, you're not here for that, are you? Yeah, no one's here for that. You're here for the A&M video, right? Oh, okay. Let me get back into that. Well, understanding that to understand this, I like to break it down into four categories of what could have potentially been, but what isn't, right? First things first, we're going to talk about the past to understand the future. And then next is going to be why Jimbo. And then after that is going to be, of course, the eye test. What I saw, what you saw, what we saw. And then, of course, the final result, which usually leads to me having a huge rant, right? But before we get into all of that, of course, one thing I would like to say is that please support the channel. I'm under 1,000 subscribers. I would really like to get to 1,000 before the end of the year. And if not, that's fine. Hey, thanks for watching anyways. You clicked on it. You're here now. And I appreciate that. Let's dive in. So first things first, Jimbo Fisher, before you get to where he is today, you have to understand where he got to from yesterday, I guess. Well, whatever. No pun intended. So pretty much his coaching history. He did a little odd jobs here and there. He was offensive coordinator, but his first real big break was at Cincinnati, of course, in 1999, the offensive coordinator slash quarterback coach. However, that next year, of course, he gets to go with the one of the greatest coaches probably in college football history, Nick Saban, from 2000 to 2006. And of course, if you guys remember, the LSU Tigers were nothing to mess with during that time frame from 2000 all the way to 2008. They were a wrecking force. Granted, Saban wasn't there all the way through that, and neither was Jimbo, but they built the house by brick, not by straw. And of course, they ended up winning in 2003. They won the NCAA championship in football, and that's what I'm talking about. However, Jimbo was only an offensive coordinator for them, which makes sense because, Nick Saban runs everything. He's a control freak. He has to have everything done. But then again, he's also won almost more. He's won over more than 5 titles. So, in a way, yeah, it was Saban's team. But, hey, Jimbo was there. And now it was time for greatness for Jim, I guess, to take his place in the world of college football. So he took a chance. In 2007, he left LSU and went to Florida State, where he still was the offensive coordinator. Some chance, right? But in a few years, some firings, just the great Bobby Bowden. Yeah, Bobby Bowden, one of the greatest college football coaches ever to walk this earth. And talk about gigantic shoes, just finishing from, 1987 to 2000, where he had 10 plus wins each season and 2 national championships. Yeah, Jimbo kind of took on a job that, well, yeah, it wasn't easy. However, Jimbo seemed to manage. He was ready to take his course at Florida State, the new head coach. His first year, he went 10-4 and won the Chick-fil-A Bowl. Next year, 9-4, won the Champs Bowl. Third year, 12-2, and won the Orange Bowl. But then the big one came. Oh yes, the reason why you play in the whole entire time where the dominance of the Florida Gators, the LS, they held the torch, and they'd held it for a while. Until, of course, Dabo Swinney took over. But before that, it was Jimbo in the reign of fame. They beat Auburn in the championship and won it. And however, the next year, they came close with a 13-1 season. But lost in the Rose Bowl. And understandable. However, the next few seasons, the rise of Clemson took over. And eventually, Jimbo found himself having a 5-6 season, not even bowl eligible. And you would think they would bounce back. But no, he just took a job somewhere, College Station, Southeast Texas. And no, on top of that, he also took roughly about a good couple million with him, too, on top of that. But we'll get into the money part. We'll get into that, right? Next, why Jimbo, of all people? At a time where you could have gotten Dan Mullen, you could have gotten Charlie Strong, before his claim to fame, Chip Kelly when he was in and out of the NFL and stuff like that, A&M could have got any of those guys. But for some strange reason, they went with Jimbo. What did Jimbo bring? Because A&M already had the money, and they were in a pipeline state where their recruiting was crazy. That's what it was. Recruiting. Yeah, Jimbo was good at that. I mean, at Florida State alone, he got Jalen Ramsey, Devontae Freeman, Kelvin Benjamin, trash, by the way, in the NFL, trash. Mario Edwards, who is a pretty good defensive end. He was pretty good at Denton Ryan High School, but he ended up going to Florida State. And, of course, the great corner, Jalen Ramsey. This is something where I kind of wanted to stand out on this. So, going to A&M, we got more money, better recruits. You don't have to leave the state. It should be way more, right? I mean, even with the competition of Texas, they were falling off throughout that. They couldn't seem to get it right at coaching, so therefore, those Texas players wanted to go elsewhere. And then on top of that, with Texas A&M joining the SEC in 2011, it only made it more right because more money. More TV time, right? Yeah. Let's talk about that. Also, let's just add this to be fair. Level of competition, NFL scouts. It was a better conference. They ran for so long. They were supreme. A&M had joined. Well, figure to launch if you tell me. Do you know any of these guys? We won't count 2018 because we just won't. But the 2019 class, because Jimbo was there, tell me if you know any of these people. And quite frankly, they're not bad players if you want me to give you my honest opinion. But I'll do that in the rant. Isaiah Spiller, DeMarvin Lean, Kenyon Green, Baylor Cupp. Oh, he transferred to Texas Tech. We'll get into that here. There's a reason why I said that. In the 2020 class, King Hayes, who also is playing for Georgia Tech right now currently. Jalen Jones, Desmond Demas, who is not even, he's at a JUCO right now. At a JUCO playing football. But 2021. Yeah, Shamar Turner. However, if you want to talk about the class that changed everything for Jimbo and the recruits at Texas A&M while he was there, the 2022 season, oh my God. Well, let me tell you, fam, I could just show you instead. Show clips. Dum, dum. Now, you're wondering, this is why we brought Jimbo in. This is what we do at A&M. Thumbs up, baby. Aggie. Gig 'em. We brought him in to bring in the guys. And as you saw in the class, from 2018 to 2022, and this is what we expected, at least an SEC championship or a title or two. Which brings me to my third point in this, the good old eye test. The eye test is amazing, right? Because on paper, you could be an amazing football team. Just look at the Chargers. And you can be also trash at the same time. Just look at the Chargers. You could also have some of the greatest quarterbacks ever played the game. Look at the Broncos. And still have a dumpster fire. However, for some strange reason, they're managing to get it together well. But before that, they were trash. With that being said, it's apparent. If Close was a person, well, it would have been 2022 for the A&M Aggies. But there was the Kent State game where offensively they struggled. Sam Houston State game where they were actually involved in this game. Sam Houston State, I don't know what was going on. And then next was the Appalachian State game. OMG, when I say trash, just look at it. Just look at it. However, they beat the Miami Hurricanes. And, of course, the rival a little bit higher north than us is Arkansas and Jerry's World, which was amazing. Only to give us this promise that, you know what, maybe the App State loss was just a hiccup. It happens. Michigan did it, right? And well, yeah, you know what happened to Michigan? They just haven't won a title in years either. Same thing with A&M. For some strange reason, this is what happened next, only to lose to. Let me clear my throat for this one. Mississippi State, Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Florida, and Auburn. But they managed to do this against a ranked opponent, LSU. So, yeah, great things to look forward to, right? Well, eh, not so much. Here this year, he had them at 6-4 before getting fired, but only to beat Mississippi State by more than 40. Well, I'm sorry, not by more than 40, actually more than like 20 points with another QB, Henderson, because Max was. I don't know what you make of Max Johnson. He was not good. His daddy was good, but he no. Do we have more of these on the roster? What I mean by more of these, like these amazing 5-star recruits that all came in from 2022 class and transferred out and left because of poor coaching, bad offensive calls, terrible games. Okay, hold on, wait. Before I even get into all that, right? The final results of him, pretty much in this whole debacle at A&M, right? And I judge it off of this. Did you win a championship? No. Heisman winner? No, that was Kevin Sumlin that won the Heisman. He coached Johnny Manziel, not Jimbo. So no. Any college awards? No. Conference titles? No. First round picks? Yes. Believe it or not, Kenyon Green did go in the first round for the Texas A&M Aggies. He actually plays for my Houston Texans, who's on IR right now. Bust. Two into the top 25. How many wins did he get against the top 25? Well, he actually had a bad record when he was at Florida State against the top 25. And in the SEC, he only played 5 opponents in the top 25 during his time there, and he won against 3. So 60% is not that bad. Did he finish in the top 15 or top 25 at least? Yeah, once, but I guess. And here's how I fare if you did a good job or not. If you got 4 out of the 7 that I actually graded you on, which was, of course, did you have a championship, Heisman winner, college awards by any player, conference title, first round picks, at least 20 wins against the top 25 opponents, and did you finish in the top 15 or 25? If you got at least 4 out of the 7, you did a fair job. But in this case, he only managed 3. And that was in 5 years there. Now you decide, guys, what was he doing there? How was it? Honest opinion, really? Really? Yeah. I don't know. And the last part, this is where I make the judgment call. This is what we call rant time. Take a deep breath. Woo, sa, woo, and sa. All right. First things first. Let's just be real. When he arrived, dude, A&M, dude, let me tell you right now. A&M was this on the rise football team that could have been great and had so many things going for themselves. And I even believe that Kevin Sumlin wasn't the problem, but I had to understand that he had to get fired, right? But for some strange reason, he went 7-6 in his final year out at Texas A&M, which was cool because when Jimbo came in, brought in a couple of recruits, not too much. Like I said, I don't count it. However, they went 9-4, second in the West, won the Gator Bowl. Shoot, I said, okay, we got a shot here. Let's do something. Only to regress by losing one more game and winning only one more game, going 8-5, and number 4 in the West. However, okay. In the 2020 season, against the COVID year, that was amazing, right? We went 9-1. Okay. Hey. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I realized we might be something great. Only to freaking lose again? To lose again. You know what I mean? Don't get me started, dude. Please don't get me started, right? We lost again in, of course, the great 2021 season, going 8-4. But this year, we did something different, something unique, something that a lot of teams couldn't seem to do in the SEC for a while. We beat Bama in a shootout, 41-38, which brings me to my next point about this. A&M and Bama seemed to have a wild fiasco towards each other, which was really weird. It was a very interesting dynamic because this seemed to happen very rarely, not all the time. And it was funny too how it happened because, like, for some strange reason, Alabama was like the marker where you had to beat them. You had to do it. And if you didn't do it, well, then why were you playing? So in 2021, when we beat Bama, it was a pretty big deal. Pretty excited, actually. I even began to talk ish on the internet a lot. And with the next year, 2022, coming in, this class, these recruits, these players, I'm thinking to myself, heck yeah, we finna be dominant. And then I talked about it a little bit in the video earlier with the 5-game losing streak we had, where we just lost to Mississippi State, Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Florida, and Auburn. And if I could show you the Alabama game, who the hell is doing a pylon pass out in the fourth quarter in Tuscaloosa as a third down play? Doesn't matter. It literally was the last play of the game. He threw the ball outside. King Haynes, I love you, in Georgia Tech, not in A&M. I don't know what was going on. But then for some strange reason, I see him go to, Georgia Tech, and he's freaking killing it right now, murdering the game. And don't even get me started on the players that we had, right? If you're watching the Miami Dolphins and you saw that 70-point blowout they put against the Broncos, yeah, Devon Achane. Does that name sound familiar? Yeah, he played for A&M, and guess who started over him? Isaiah Spiller. Yeah, Jimbo seems to do that a lot lately. DeMarvin Lean, he waited to the NFL. He's for the Steelers. Haven't heard from the guy since. Is he even playing? Don't even get me started on Demarius Mims, who was a great receiver, got into some trouble, and yeah, which is self-inflicted, right? I can't be mad at Jimbo for that, right? But in a way, if you're only going to use him halfway throughout the season and not use him at all, I can be mad at that, right? It is my rant. Don't at me in the comments. However, this debacle of losses in 2022 with all this talent and him being this offensive guru seemed to make me wonder, why are we only putting up an average of just only 28 points in college football? I mean, Oregon alone, they'll put up 30 on you in a bad year, right? Are we worse than Oregon? Don't answer that question. What I'm saying is that the moral lesson, how we look at it and how we fare with what Jimbo did at A&M was just underachieving. And the bad part about it is that he was rewarded $77 million. He was rewarded money for losing. It kind of shocked me a little, but then again at the same time, it's A&M. It's kind of like what we do. We just allow greatness to happen and give us a glimpse and twinkle in our eye, and then we go back to being mediocre, trash, non-existent, just a team in the SEC, or just a team in college football. And for once in my life, I believe that we were better than Texas. We had the chance. We had the recruits. We had the advantage. We were better. We were the better team in the state. It actually happened. We had the better coach in the state, the better talent in the state at one point. and we failed to do anything with it. The sad case of it. However, like I explained, the eye test, to understand the past, you must know the future. To understand the future, you must know the past. And of course, why Jimbo? And I kind of all came together at the end for me. That he failed at the job. And he knew it. Thus, the firing after the Mississippi State win, people were in shock. Why would you fire a coach after a win? But at the same time, you had Henderson at quarterback, and you kept starting Max Johnson. That's kind of why. You had so much talent on your roster that you were starting the wrong guys. And for you to be an offensive coordinator, guru at that, and even fact, you struggled to manage to make the guys that did work on offense not work. But you saw how great they were at other places. You know what I mean? Kids were willing to transfer and get out of A&M, which kind of is a tricky, sticky situation because, again, the portal kind of gives the kids that option. And now I conclude my rant. And as we look at the four corners of the whole incident, and because I'm a square kind of guy, I like to be equal. I gave the facts. I gave the eye test. I gave the reason why they chose him. Now I ask for you all to decide. Was Jimbo really robbed at his time at A&M? Or did he rob himself? You know my thoughts, but I want to know yours. Drop them in the comments. And I'll be doing this more. I actually like this. I don't know what I'm going to call this. The playlist. Nah, I haven't had a name yet. I'll still work on that part. Hey, yo, peace.